I'm very good. I'm very good. It's kind of my first day back, kind of. I've had a little time off, which has been very nice. So kind of back to the chaos, as they
How is it
say.
being back? You were on a cycling holiday with dad, right?
Yeah, I did a little cycling holiday, went to go see my family. I mean, I did try and switch off, but to be honest with you, I was kind of on my emails, so it doesn't feel like that much of a sort of shock to the system.
Hey, the
But it's just
Renaissance, the
we've got
Renaissance never stops.
But just got a massive to-do list where we've kind of got a big strategy week this week with the team. So like literally we're limiting all our emails, we're just answering urgent emails, we're getting our heads down and really strategizing for the next few months, which is super exciting.
Melissa, I want to know everything about the Modernists. Give us some context into you. Give us some context into the Modernists.
Yeah, sure. I'll just, I guess, start by introducing myself and the Modernist. So I'm Melissa. I'm founder and CEO of the Modernist, and we're a hospitality tech startup, essentially building the future of lifestyle memberships. So with one membership key, you can easily access private members, clubs, co-working spaces, events. I always like to kind of pitch it as if ClassPass and Soho House had a baby, they would produce the Modernist. It's kind of the easiest way to imagine it. So one key that unlocks all these coveted spaces, communities, events. And our mission is really to build a kind of all-in-one app that allows users to easily access, be connected to these spaces using the power of AI, and experience all these amazing places that they wouldn't otherwise get to. And my background was I started the Modernist fresh out of university, so just finished my master's at Cambridge. Had this idea whilst I was writing my thesis, which was actually in architecture. So I studied architecture, had this idea and was kind of writing my business model as well as doing my architecture thesis, which was a funny time. And then left architecture completely, ended up getting a job in consulting, and then started the Modernist on the side as literally a newsletter. So this newsletter was where I would share the best kind of places to go to in London. So it was essentially a curation newsletter. I then started really building the hype and the community, really. So the Modernist is very much a community first business. And that was first and foremost what was built. So people can sign up to the newsletter. We would kind of curate the community. I would host various different events at different members clubs, all whilst also working full time as well. So I completely relate to you founders who are doing the side hustle and juggling both things at the same time. It's very hard. And it reached a point where the community grew so much. So within 6 months, we grew to 600 members of the community, and ended up kind of monetizing that, leaving my full-time job, and then focusing on this project full-time, which has been super exciting. And it's actually been over a year now since I've been fully into it. The gray hairs still waiting for them to come, but you wait, Viraj. If you interview me in like 6 months' time post fundraise, I think it'll be a different story.
Well, at least you still got hair. I think like at least you're
Yeah,
not in my position where I would have to put a wig on to look good and the grey hairs just don't exist. I think 20 years down the line, the full beard, we're
yeah.
gonna just be white.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I was just gonna say, wait for the beard to go white, Viraj. Then
Silver
it's
Fox
gonna.
vibes is what we're going for. Look, I want to know, like, ever since we had our first conversation around it being like class pass for Soho House, was this a problem that you were solving for yourself? Is that where you would spend time and realize, like, actually, I'm just wasting money by not going every single day to these places?
Yeah, so it definitely very much was my problem. I definitely selfishly built this for myself.
All the
I
best
love
products
using.
are.
I absolutely love using the product. I use it to book actually where I am today, in South Kensington, book that I go to the events as much as I can. So no, I absolutely loved it. I mean, my problem mainly was that, yeah, I moved to London from Cambridge. There is just so much choice in London, and I think I'm someone who's very picky, and I love curated things. I don't like just to go anywhere and everywhere. I want to definitely pick the right places. And for me, it was that I had so many different memberships. I think I had about five different members clubs membership. I had an events membership. I had a co-working membership, and all of that just got really expensive. And I was 25 at the time and fresh out of university, and couldn't necessarily afford all of those. So hence how the Modernist came about. And we are really addressing a kind of target problem for the kind of Gen Z millennial group. And typically these sort of, I would say, kind of high-end hospitality experiences are reserved, for your plus 40s, 50s, which is nothing wrong with that, but it's also great to kind of give younger generations an opportunity that they might not otherwise be able to, especially as they're just getting their career off the ground. They want to network, they want to meet people. And what we're seeing, Biraj, which is super interesting, is post-COVID, we're seeing that generation of people that want to network, they want to meet new people. because during COVID we were deprived of all those experiences. You couldn't go out, you couldn't see your friends, you couldn't go to all these spaces. So of course now we're seeing a huge boom in private members clubs, in events, attendance, in these beautiful sad spaces because people want to physically go and meet people. They're kind of fed up of necessarily being on their phones, right? And it's really interesting. So we're
I
definitely
can
addressing
imagine.
all those pain points.
London is just full of private members clubs, full of events that people just don't know where to find.
Yeah,
And then if you're paying a subscription for every single one, I don't know how much that Soho House memberships is going to start being since they bought it since they bought it private,
yeah,
sorry.
yeah,
But I can imagine that starts increasing in
yeah,
costs considerably. Um, Spending 5, 10, 15,000 pounds a month
yeah,
is a lot of money on these exclusive networks where actually I want to dive in a little bit here. Maybe this
yeah,
is just where I want to spend my time in South Ken. Maybe it's in East London. Who knows?
yeah.
Is the goal to make this global or is it still very European?
Oh no, absolutely. The goal is definitely to make this global. I mean, we are fundraising at the moment to achieve that goal. And I think that's what also makes me super excited because I love traveling. I go to Paris a lot. And for me as well, like when I was in Paris, I wanted to be able to go to all these kind of private spaces and didn't necessarily know how. And if you do join a members club, often they'll have kind of reciprocals, but that is somewhat limited. You can't go to all of them.
Tell me about the
And there is,
reciprocals. What do you mean by that?
so by reciprocals, that's essentially you can often visit, they form kind of partnerships with different venues, and you could often visit them, for X number of days per year. So that's very, very common. But what we do is we go above and beyond that, and that you can not only visit them, but you can also attend their events. You can also join as a member if you want it full time, but be able to do that through us. So there are all these additional benefits that you wouldn't otherwise get. So for me, definitely we're looking at the global expansion. We're looking at the US, the Middle East, Asia. So it's a really, really exciting time for us in that regard.
I love it. I think that it's needed more than ever, as you said. It's incredibly important that
Mhm.
we get to go out and we get to spend time with the people that we want to spend time with and go to these places, right? How are you pitching
Yeah,
it to the clubs? I can imagine that they're
yeah,
quite hesitant at first because they're like, "Why are you just cannibalizing on our revenue?" Or do they realize that
yeah.
actually you're opening up a whole new consumer class?
Oh, definitely. And our very much our philosophy and our kind of values are very much we're here to really bless these venues and these places. We're here not only, to obviously partner with them on a business way, but we want them to succeed as well. And so that comes with obviously us bringing incredible people along their way, us hosting events with them. So there's a huge benefit and addition, add-ons for them. And we don't charge them anything. And then, of course, they get extra revenue through events and various kind of partnership nuances. So they really do get a lot, and we don't, necessarily ask for much in return. I would say as well, on their end, post COVID, of course, we're seeing the rise in private members clubs, the rise in hospitality spaces. But what we're also seeing that comes with increased competition. It becomes much harder, obviously, to attract the right kind of person. And then we're here, to very much connect these people to these spaces. And what's also super cool is we're developing an AI tool that matches people to venues. So I could be, I'm Melissa. I love fashion. I love classical architecture. I love music, and I could be matched to venues based on those likes. And that is a huge tool for these spaces to attract the right kind of customers. And we are living in kind of the AI boom, and I think this industry in particular doesn't really do enough in that space. So we're very much looking at that at the moment.
That's really interesting. What made you start doing that? Was it that you can personalize that experience a little bit better? You can really
Yeah, so
add
it's
value long
essentially
term?
it's a personalization tool. It's a curation tool, both from the venue side, but also from the customer side as well.
Ah, I get it. And then long term, obviously, you build out this rich data set and this rich
Mhm.
model on your customers, your consumers, and people using the
Yeah,
applications and going to all of these different venues. And I guess long
yeah,
term, that the partners can start working with the model and sort of tapping into it, understanding who their
correct.
ideal ICP is, who they
Yeah,
want in those venues, in those private spaces, and really curate those events
yeah.
better, right?
Yeah, correct. It's definitely that is the ultimate aim is to help these spaces. Yeah, and what is it? The more data you have, the better knowledge you have, So we're definitely aiming to kind of build that out as well.
I want to know if I'm in London first time,
Mhm.
where should I go for some of these private spaces? What would be the itinerary that you build?
Mm. Yeah, so for breakfast, you want a full day, right?
Full day.
This is like full day. Okay, for breakfast, I would highly recommend Bingham River House. So you're gonna stay in Bingham River House in Richmond. Absolutely love that space. I'm a member there as well. You're gonna wake up, have your beautiful breakfast overlooking the Thames. Then you're gonna wander to the train station, get your train into central London. And then from there, you're going to spend lunch here at the other house in South Kensington. So you're going to have lunch. They have lunchtime Pilates as well. Viraj, I'm not sure if you're a fan of lunchtime
I'm a
Pilates,
yoga.
but
I was a yogi in India for 6 months. I can probably get some Pilates in me.
so yeah, well, there you go. So you're going to do some lunchtime Pilates, have some lunch here. Then you're going to wander down the road to the Sloane Club, which recently refurbished. Then you're going to grab some nice tea there with some cake, the classic British experience, and a beautifully
I'll
refurbished
take.
space. You
Do they
might do
do
some.
scones? Some fresh scones.
They do indeed, and some great tea as well.
Nice. That's what we like to see.
And then you might take some meetings, you might co-work there for a little bit, and then you know what? It's 5 p.m. It's time to go. Then the night really begins. So you're going to do a little aperitif at upstairs at Langan's, which is very beautiful. They open from 5 p.m. So you'll have a little aperitif and you enjoy their kind of roof space. And if it's a super sunny day, I highly recommend the roof gardens or Maison Estelle, which is opening their new branch at Notting Hill. So then you can dance the night away. And then for a really late after party, you can head out to tramp in St. James's and enjoy the evening until 5 a.m.
Oh, 5 a.m. sounds a little early for me. I'm usually getting up at that
Oh,
time, not
wow.
going to sleep. If I was in New York, I think it would be a different beast. That city truly never sleeps.
Yeah. But yeah, 5 a.m. Maybe I was over exaggerating a little bit. Let's say maybe 2 a.m.
Maybe two. I think London ends up shutting down quite early these days, but I think
Yeah.
I'm going to the wrong places is what it seems like. Tell
Well,
me
we're actually, funny enough, we're celebrating our 2-year anniversary on Friday, and we've got camp as our venue, and everyone's like, "So you're gonna stay out until 2 a.m.?" I'm like, "Oh my gosh, I don't remember the last time I did that."
I don't remember the last time I did that. It was definitely a while ago. I'm definitely in a different space in my life, but the occasional
Yeah,
party comes up where I'm like, actually, I'm okay staying out this late. It's all right. It's for the benefit of the business.
yeah, yeah. I'm gonna think that on Friday. Thank you, Raj.
I'm looking forward to the invite, hopefully. But look, I
Yeah.
want to know a little bit about the fundraising. How's it going? Is it difficult?
Yeah, look, so we kind of unofficially started the round just before, I would say, just before the summer period. So we are kind of, I would say, prospecting investors, reaching out, being, look, we're going to kind of, I guess, officially kind of start things September, but building out the network. There's all the kind of groundwork to be done first, which I feel like has been done since like April, this year. So it's been quite a long time of being like, okay, April, we decided we were going to raise. We're like, we need to scale. We're getting to a point where okay, we've bootstrapped from you pretty much a year and a half, 2 years. We've got the traction, we've got the numbers, we've got the product MVP. We can go to investors with fairly good metrics. And it was now the point like, okay, now we need to do all this groundwork, as you know, get pitch decks together, get data rooms, start building the connections. And that definitely takes time. And it takes time to build also not only that, but your personal brand as well. And obviously part of the fundraiser has been me putting myself out there, has been me pitching, has been me going to events, and meeting as many people as I can. So all of that has taken time, and now we're in a really good position to really hit the ground running in September. So we're raising a 750K SEIS and EIS round. And we're kind of looking at speaking with a variety of people, from VCs, family offices, to angel investors. We're looking at as well raising part of that through founding memberships, kind of similar to what like Five Up Street did back in the day. So now we've kind of done all that legwork. We're kind of ready to hit the ground running and hopefully as well go to the US and do a bit of time out there and hopefully as well raise some of our rounds in the US as well.
Awesome. Is it difficult raising as a female founder?
Yes.
Why? Why do you think that is? Is it because they don't believe that you could run the company? Or have you figured out
Well,
it's something else? They don't like
hmm.
the business model? Like, humor me for a moment and help me understand.
Yeah, look, there definitely are investors that you'll meet that have very constructive, really good feedback. And I think every feedback I've had, I've always listened to. And for me, I think the main thing is you want to get feedback and you want it to be constructive. But I have had, occasions where I have met investors and they'll look at you like you're a risk. And I think that is the general trend I've observed through my kind of female founder community is that, they will often sit in front of investors and they will be seen as risk, which is, not great. And you really need to work at shifting that conversation to being like, instead of seeing me as a risk, you see this as an opportunity and a great way to do something exciting that perhaps hasn't been done before. And really, for me, in the kind of initial stages of starting the fundraise and, starting to kind of build the network, I did find that tough. And I found it tougher as well that there aren't really that many role models out there as well, especially within my space. I think all the kind of brands that do something similar, they're all run by males. So there definitely wasn't anyone out there that was doing something like I was doing. And I was like, okay, I definitely feel like, one tiny fish in a big pond here. So I really think a lot of it comes through your own self-determination. And understanding that it is okay for people to doubt you and to, for people to see you that way, but it's how you navigate the whole conversation, how you shift that perspective and that narrative.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Why do you think, or how do you begin to shift the narrative? Is it by
Mm.
constantly having that conversation, constantly educating them that actually this is the right model to have? Yes, I am the right person to run this company. Or do you just say to them, or do you need to kowtow to them and say, look, if we're having this conversation, you're probably not the right investor for me, or for us because you don't believe in us as the team.
Yeah, oh gosh, I think
I'm
I'll
sorry,
explain this to a
we're
prac.
asking we're tough
Yeah.
questions here today.
No, it's good. It's a good question. I will explain this from like a very practical example. So yeah, I know of this investor, we've known each other for a little while. We've had, conversations. He's definitely seen my journey very much inside out. He's been there when I've co-worked, he's observed me. He's seen me on social media, my mindset. I think initially he was definitely not sure. But what he came back to me with the other week was like, look, let's sit down. If you've got a good team together, if you've got, everything I want and I need, then I'm in. And that has come through him observing my consistency and my determination. So it's him seeing that I've showed up each week and each day and done X, Y, Z and got to where I am. So I think even though there have been no's, I think the way that I think then, even we have a CRM with this, is like whenever someone says no, they go on the bucket that's like no, but not never. You can always approach that person again. You could always change people's perspectives again. And I think I've always come from the view of like, it's not necessarily the words you say, but it's the actions you do. And people really do observe actions rather than words. And I think whenever I've had doubt, I've always countered that through the actions, being like, okay, fine, you doubt, but like join our newsletter, join our investor newsletter, come to one of our events, see how it works, become a customer, and I'll prove you wrong.
Do you want to take money from just any investor, or are you looking for certain investors to become almost partners within the work that you end up doing? You want them to be able to open up the right connections. You want them to
Yeah.
have that experience as operators, whether they're like private members clubs, well, have run private members clubs as an example. Um, and do you think you're going to find those in the UK or in
Yeah,
Europe?
so in terms of, I guess, the first part of the question, absolutely it's about finding the right person. I do think this is somewhat of I would say, a niche business.
Hmm.
It is very specialized and dealing with all these different spaces, dealing with all the different venues, does require an investor that's very understanding and that understands the space. So yeah, we are ideally looking at investors that understand, are either generalists or that understand the kind of the hospitality and the specific hospitality tech space. And yeah, within the kind of UK market, there definitely are, investors around that. I think it's much stronger than the US. So I think especially a place like New York, I think
Oh, they
would
would eat it
abs
up. Imagine like Manhattan.
yeah,
You've got like the Chelsea area. Oh, you could just
yeah,
imagine this absolutely ripping over there.
yeah. So I think that's kind of more my focus really. But that being said, we do have leads and we do have interest here as well as here and Europe as well. But yeah, I think I think the US is absolutely prime for something like this.
What's the metric that you look at and the business is doing well? Is it the number of people that's signing up to ClassPass? Is it the signing up to the
Mhm.
ClassPasses? Is it the amount of events that they go to? Or is it another metric?
To some degree, it's almost like a marketplace, right? We obviously have venues and we have people, and we have to drive the number of venues and we have to drive the number of people. So they're kind of both interconnected together. And they're both very much, if one goes up, the other goes up.
Hmm.
So I think that's been one of the challenges, I would say, of a model like this, in that you can have a ton of people, but then they might not find value in it if you don't have the right spaces. But then if you have a lot of spaces and not enough people, then they might not find the spaces might not be like you're not getting the right people in the door, and then you lose spaces. So it is very much about, I would say, having a really good balance between both. But interestingly, what we found is that the signups have been good, but also for us, it's the revenue, right? It's kind of okay, how much revenue are we generating? How many people are booking? How many people are coming to the events? Either as a member, but yeah, as a guest as well, and then signing up afterwards. So there are all these metrics that we look at and analyze in depth as well. And then with this new kind of version of the product as well, looking at from the venue side, the kind of people that are coming in through the door, how much are they spending? What do they enjoy? What do they like? Do they keep coming back? Do they want to join full time? So there's all these things that we're kind of looking at building out, which I think is really exciting for me. I love numbers and I love kind of analyzing these things and strategizing. And I think the future is very exciting.
I think the human behavior of it all is most insightful in the work that you do. It's like, where are the people spending their time? Where are they spending their money? What are the
Yeah,
nuances of their life, of this curated life that they're building for themselves, that we can see, and then we can add value on top of,
yeah,
right? It's like, if you like
yeah,
tea, let's send you to the best tea places, the way you can really enjoy
yeah.
that experience, whether it's at Langham's, Annabelle's. Forgive me, I'm not well versed on the private members club space, but I'm soon to be.
I love that. Annabelle's the first one.
Look, it was top of mind at that moment in time. It's probably the only one I know. Before we let you go, I've got to ask,
Yeah.
what's the long-term vision here then? Is it that everyone has access to a class pass that wants it for private members clubs? Or maybe do you think that in the long term you end up building out your own?
Yeah, look, as I mentioned earlier, this is very much a global business, and it's very much targeting the millennials, the Gen Zs, of the world. And we really want to see a world where luxury, is more accessible to younger people. And we want to be creating, the class parts of the spaces. And, I think in a world where there isn't much curation, there isn't much connection, we want to be the business that facilitates that and that builds community and that connects these younger people to these incredible spaces to do that. So I think it's a very simple aim and vision, really. And then I can continue to use it, and I love it. So
That is amazing. Look, two questions before we let you go. One, can I
yeah.
implore you? We're big race car fans on the show. Can we get some class passes for race days, please? I need some
Oh
Porsche
my gosh,
segments, also some
absolutely,
Ferrari segments. And then
absolutely.
and then secondly, we got to do a live stream of like the private members clubs. Maybe not inside because I know they don't allow recording, but we do like a tour of London or a tour of Europe one day.
Oh my God, no, I love that. We should definitely do a day in the life of your day, and from you waking up early to going to bed at 5
That
a.m. That
sounds
we need to
great.
do.
We
And
get suited
then,
and booted on Savile Row. We get lunch at the Langham, and then yeah, maybe we'll stay up till 2 a.m. We just
yeah.
have to.
And of course, Viraj, we have to give you a membership on our platform as well as for your listeners as well.
I appreciate it. We'll make sure to set that up. Let's have a conversation, Melissa. Let's see if we can make that happen.
Absolutely. Thank you so much.
This has
It's
been
been
a
so much
pleasure.
fun.
Before you go, what are we
Yeah.
raising? How much? And what's the valuation that we're going for?
So we're raising 750K at about a 4 million valuation.
Congratulations. We're looking forward to it. Anything you need from the stream and us, you just let us know.
Thank you.
We're here to support you.
Thank you so much, Viraj. Apologies for the two of me.
That's okay.
And
Audio's great, video's great. That's all that matters.
thank you so much. It's been super fun. Have a great rest of the day.
Thanks for the time. Ciao.